Well,
I do know Chinese.
welcome to episode 28.
Yeah, episode 28.
Brought to you by Google Translate and Tupac Shakur.
That's why I fucked your bitch.
Wow, that's not mechanical.
No, I'm pretty sure he just said that. It was the track.
Yeah.
That is why I fucked your bitch.
Me boop beep bop bop.
01000. She was good. Tell your mom I said hi. What? I also have her Facebook profile. 001 1005. What? That's not even binary. Anyway.
5.
Yeah.
Zero,
So if you're just tuning in, you got an extra episode this week with our bonus cast with
our friends.
Murders and Myths.
Yeah, our friends from Murders and
April
Myths.
Fools. And
Yeah.
if you
Got
haven't
'em.
seen the YouTube episode, there was a shark.
He was kind of rough around the edges.
Perplexing.
Yeah.
He certainly wasn't zipped up in the back.
I'm missing a few toes, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It might
I
You know
feel
what
like-
you didn't mention throughout the entire length of the podcast? I had like an underbite on the left-hand side of the mask.
I don't think I noticed. Cause
Well, obviously, because it went the entire length of the cast.
Oh.
The entire, and I went, neither you motherfuckers said a goddamn thing. And like I'm doing the whole like choking on the mic and putting the mic in my mouth, and like the whole time the left hand is like got this like inserted facial dent. I'm like, ruined it.
it just looked like someone punched your ass.
Yeah.
Like you deserved
Yeah,
it.
like,
a surfer kicked you.
yeah, some sort of orca incident.
See, that's what happens when you bite a guy on a surfboard. You get what you get. Shark.
Yeah, you get it in the face.
Come a shark.
You lose a tooth.
Yeah. Or you get a deformed grill.
Yeah,
Oh, the top part of your teeth
Yeah.
were fucked up.
yeah,
The top part? Oh, I didn't
yeah. It was like dented.
notice. I didn't.
And that's what's weird because we took a number of like the funny haha shots,
Yeah.
and like the stunty silliness, and it was fine. And I looked at those and saw those and went, "Oh yeah, that's funny, haha." And then the moment I started watching the actual cast itself on YouTube, I went, "Oh man, it's from the get go. It's like,
So
like-
you're unhappy. You want to redo
well, you know, at some point."
at some point. See, I think what we should do is
Proper
like some sort of video of you driving around town in the shark suit
Oh yeah,
with a chaser car.
in a heartbeat.
Did you pick up Xander with that on?
No,
The picture was just in the garage.
yeah. When I pulled the car in
after the show.
Yeah. I went. Well, I told Venus, "I'm like, get your phone and like
Take
make
a
sure that I
picture."
can actually drive it."
Oh,
It-
I think didn't you make that as a joke that you're gonna go pick the kids up with the shark suit on?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's why.
I'd do it.
Yes.
I'd probably not.
He would do it in a heart. He'd do it in the dinosaur.
If it was
Probably
like a
zero,
quick
go do it right
quick
now.
pickup, yeah, I may do it. Maybe if Xander authorized it.
Well,
band.
even better would be hopping out of the car and like yelling Xander's name. Xander, hey, over here!
And then get in the car.
Yeah,
Put your trombone in the back. Let's go.
yeah, yeah.
And then-
Totally.
Yeah,
That would be funny as hell.
probably. I'd have to take Piper. That would be funny. She'd probably play along.
You'd have to
Absolutely.
wearing
she
a
would.
mask.
play this shit.
Um,
Where is it? Just blast this shit out the
Oh.
windows.
oh
Under the sea.
no! Wouldn't it would be Katy Perry music
Why?
because he's Left Shark.
Left shark.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Oh yeah. So Super Bowl.
Yeah, when she played Super Bowl, that's the costume that the Sharks.
It's from
wore.
the Super Bowl. Like the whole thing was choreographed, but the left shark was like doing its own. It was like offbeat or in its own pace.
Yeah,
And so the meme is that the left shark
has no idea what
has
he's
no
doing.
idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Is the Super Bowl, is that like a golf tournament? Is that a sport
Yeah.
of some sort?
Yeah. And the costume is actually called Katy Perry Left Shark.
Super Bowl is actually a cereal thing. It's
Gotcha.
it's like a Super Bowl that you can put your flakes in, and it holds like a gallon of milk.
They deflate footballs and stuff. You know, I don't really know.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
a bunch of guys hugging each other.
Yeah. Slap hands.
I bet you
The
they have
best-
tight pants on.
Best football I ever saw was Waterboy.
True, that's true.
Tackling fuel.
Foosball, I think, is
Yeah.
what they called it.
Foosball.
Yeah, right?
You're not playing no foosball, Bobby Boucher.
That's a devil.
And foosball's the devil, Bobby Boucher.
Vicky Valancourt's a devil.
The devil.
I like her. She showed me her boobies.
That's right.
And they were nice. Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right.
Adam Sandler's done some dumb shit, but that was one of the
I
good
love
ones.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So, yeah, that was kind of an adventure.
Yeah, it was. I had a good time.
Different for us, for sure. Different for them, too, I'm sure.
Be wary of friends bringing beverages. See, now we know.
See, that was the setup to see if we were going to partake.
And then they'd be
And,
like, gotcha.
I mean, you know, when I started
Luckily,
hearing
we're
about
not alcoholics.
when I started hearing about the poisoning in the story, I'm looking across the table at the gin and tonic, and I'm thinking to myself,
I had 5. Damn it.
I should slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may have a problem.
And later on, the hallucinations came.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a shark in here. Oh, no. Fuck. There was.
oh, there
that
really
actually
was a
happened.
shark, yeah. So I was a little leery of the gin and tonic. I got scared.
Yeah.
Plus-
April Fools.
You know, just to be on the up and up, not much of a gin guy.
No.
No.
Now I have had Shady Lady down on downtown Sac. I had a really good. I mean, they're like above the bar as far as like mixology. Like, I can't remember the name of the drink, but it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as gin and tonics or gin fizz, those type of things, not usually my.
It's
my
just
thing.
diluted down gin with some fizz.
Well,
Kind of.
like a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a martini guy either. Like, I prefer something a little bit more substantive.
I would rather have a martini made out of something else than gin.
Okay, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Dirtini?
Gin and orange juice is good.
Yeah, but so's a screwdriver.
That is a good point.
And you're not going to get, like, the weird... if you're, like, not affinitive to the botanicals of a gin, I prefer to just pound orange juice.
Well, I remember first time I think I really ever drank anything was a hot summer weekend trip to the lake with some friends.
Yeah.
And they had taken Calistoga bottles and filled them with gin.
Okay.
And so kind of got a little ripperinoed on some gin at the lake. And
Rip, rip, rip.
Just straight gin?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
Would you chase it with lake water?
just urine.
Okay.
It was gin and urine. No, I'm kidding. But it was just gin straight out of the bottle. And I think I had a couple too many. And by the time we went home, was not doing so hot.
Yeah, I don't know.
How old were you? Question mark.
Junior high-ish.
Youngish.
Junior high.
Ish.
Yeah, ish.
Jesus.
I think maybe the summer before freshman year. Yeah.
I don't know much. I like that. Straight anything to me doesn't work. Like, even like shots,
Well,
it's like
I'm just saying, think about the age of the kids.
Did your mom find
involved.
out?
No. Think about the age of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, stupidity reigns supreme in that kind of situation. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just get some gin, and it's mom and dad's, and I'll fill that fucker up with water until it looks like it was still full, and I've got gin, and we're going to get shitter.
You never hear the other side of that story, right? You never. I've never heard what happens when the parents go to make something
And it's all watered
I
down.
know.
and it's watered down, and they go, is it the best gin and tonic they've ever made because it's been diluted?
I know.
Or
this
is it
girl-
like they notice and no one wants to admit that somehow half the gin in the gin bottle's gone?
Or that we're shitty parents and didn't realize the
Right.
kids were...
Right. Tapping the gin.
Yeah.
this girl I know? She would take the vodka out of the freezer and have some, and
Yeah.
then put water in it and put it back in the freezer.
But
And
then
her mom and dad finally figured out that there was frozen shit in the bottom of the bottle.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
So that's how they figured that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not...
Oops.
Yeah. That's not the
But yeah,
Story
you
for Reno of
you
its
hear
own.
that one a lot, like the clear liquors. I see you.
Yeah, but so driving home from Granite Bay back to Fair Oaks in the heat was just not. It was not didn't feel so good. And if it's any consolation, that was probably the last time I had anything to drink until probably I turned 21.
Yeah.
So it really soured me, and plus the taste of gin just now doesn't please me
That's
in general.
doesn't it usually happen that way? Like you have too much or you make a mistake. Like I think
Yeah.
that's that way with Venus and tequila.
Oh,
It's like you have like one experience that for whatever reason is like imprinted, and the smell or the taste is like an instantaneous. Like nope, no more.
That's how
Done.
Ashley is with tequila as well.
Is it?
Yeah, she
yeah.
in Mexico just destroyed herself, and she'll never
Yeah.
probably have it
It's
again.
one of those trigger things, and it's usually a specific type of. Look at it.
yeah, I got so messed up on such and such that I can't drink it anymore.
Yeah, it's not for me. But
Yeah.
vodka, I'll get hammered. That kind of thing. You just moved your bar over to like, I'm just changing lanes.
Well, it's funny
gonna have this
because I've never. People don't believe me when I say this, but I've never gotten sick or thrown up from drinking.
Yeah.
So I don't have those triggers, but just that one time, it's not like I threw up or anything. Talking about the whole gin story, I didn't throw up or anything. It just made me feel shitty, and the flavor just kind of is indicative of not fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not a bad time necessarily, just not feeling so good.
Yeah. I stepped on a nail once, and that was bad enough that I don't want to do that again.
Really?
But it didn't make me
Just
throw up.
Never walk
That's
again.
true.
Forever.
Yeah. I was
That's
like,
true.
you want a tetanus shot? No. Well, then stop stepping on nails.
Sorry about that. You're gonna get one
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, was that my phone?
nope. Well, it could have been, but it was mine.
Are you guys both in Rolling Thunder?
Yeah.
I think it was both of you.
Oh.
It was sanctified.
Wow. Magic.
So anywho,
April Fool's
Yeah.
show. April Fool's show. Was there another circle back from last week's official show?
I don't even know what we talked about.
we talked a lot about
Oh, the game consoles.
Yeah,
Game consoles.
console stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to circle back
No.
on.
Did you beat
I
the
haven't
Mario
had-
game?
No, I haven't had time to get to it.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing other stuff,
There you go.
cleaning up my computer and trying to get my desk
Oh,
cleaned off.
Speaking of cleaning your computer, did you get that? It was the crash.
Yeah.
Drive.
So I had a drive. The drive that has, sadly, well, not sadly actually, because I have it backed up, but the drive that contained thousands upon gigs of music and photos. And let me tell you, the one time I lost a few photos off of a card that came out of a camera, my wife completely freaked out. So that has taught me that I better make sure that shit's backed up.
Right.
And there are,
What do you have? 30,000 pictures?
I think it's around 50 or 60 now.
Bro,
I think there's about
you should
60.
sign up for a cloud service, bro.
I think there's about 60,000 pictures on there. Now I have I have a drive connected to our wireless, and on the Mac they have the Time Machine backup app. So Time Machine is backing up to that drive, and that saved it. So
it was more of an inconvenience than a concern over the actual content.
yes,
I can't tell you how important it is. If you pick up anything from this podcast, it is
back up your shit.
back up your stuff.
Yes, if you care about any of that.
If you're a person that's got concerns about the cloud, take the time to burn it to a DVD or put it on a USB stick and put it in a safe deposit box, whatever you.
I mean,
As we get further and further down this digital content thing, if you've got a footprint on your local computer or in your NAS drive or whatever, back it up. Nothing will be more upsetting as someone that has lost stuff. Nothing will be more upsetting than knowing you should have and not, and losing those things.
well, you can get a cheap enough drive to just have just drag it and copy it to another disk.
Yeah.
Every so often.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use fancy backups. I mean, like I said, I don't know what Windows. I don't believe comes with any kind of built-in backup. It does. Use that shit. It's free, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you can typically, if you have a computer, you can probably afford a $60 or $80 hard disk that's external that you can hook up.
Oh yeah. I mean, space at this point is so cheap.
Back it up, buy a couple of terabyte drive, 2 or 3 terabytes.
A 2 terabyte drive for like $60.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the backup drive I have on our wireless is 4 terabyte, and I bought it at Costco for like $80 a couple years ago.
Yeah. Just
So-
every once in a while,
Yeah.
buy a drive, even if you don't use it daily, maybe monthly. Drag everything over once a month, maybe every quarter. If you're concerned about whether or not that thing is now 2 years old, buy another. I mean, like I said, space is relatively cheap comparatively. Obviously, it's not everyone has got that kind of cash to spend, but every year or so, if you're concerned about whether or not something is going to spin back up, buy one, half a year, transfer everything over. Now you've got doubles. If it lasts, then you take the other one and repurpose it for something, or give it to someone after you've erased it and formatted it. But just kind of keep rotating. I can't tell you how upset I would be at this point and having a family and all of the family stuff. I mean, we just saw Google Plus, right? That went away. You know, a lot of the events that had stuff tacked, they certainly prefaced with, hey, get your stuff. It is archived, but it's over here. You know, some of these digital mediums, you know, have an evolution to them, or they get compromised, or they're on a device that dies. Back up your stuff, man.
Well, for us, like I said, it's the pictures mostly. My wife has tons of photos, and it was really, you know, when the kids were little was when we started to go digital. And so going digital means that you got to have space for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to have a plan for if something dies, and hard drives fail.
Oh, yeah.
Hard drives fail, period. It could be old age. It could be a head crash. It could be it got bumped the wrong way. I mean, you name it. They don't last very long. And so back them up. Back them up. SSDs have they have a limitation on how many times you can write to them, so they will fail eventually. So you just got to make sure you put them on a disk that will stay around for a while, or you know, replace it every couple of years with a new disk.
Do you use cloud services for storing things?
I have most of the photos I take with the camera are like auto push to Google Photos, so they're clouded.
Yeah.
I have a mirror NAS, and I then I'm not as proactive as I want to be, but I have the big Google Drive space, and I've been taking folders off the NAS and dragging them periodically to my Google Drive so that I have those. Having been bit by a failed mirror drive unit before and having to pay to have that recovery, it's expensive. So have another one with hard drive redundancy, and I slowly take those.
If you can afford it, honestly, I would invest in a RAID 5 if you can afford it, because you have redundancy built into the array. And if one of the drives in the array fails, you replace it with a new one, and it rebuilds the array, and you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
That's what I would personally, if I could, I would buy a RAID 5 that has like 4 drives in it, and make a RAID 5 out of it, and use that as a backup, because you get performance out of it. It's quick.
Yeah.
It's not as fast as RAID 0, but that's okay. You get performance, plus you get redundancy in the built into the array. You get what they call a parity drive, and that parity drive will save you when one drive fails.
One drive takes the tank.
Yeah, so that's the way I personally would go. Of course, back in the day, they used to use tape. Tape. Can you imagine doing a tape backup all the time? Brutal.
For the bank.
Slow
tape
as
drives.
crap. Yeah.
And then they would have to schlep them off site and keep them.
Yeah.
And then drive them back if someone needed a restore. Oh, crazy stuff.
That would take days to restore some of that amount of data.
Huge, like, CD.
Yeah. Or what was the other one that, like, I remember in the mid-90s was optical drive array. Sort of like mechanical switching backup systems for opticals.
Amen.
Not CDs or DVDs, but like optical cartridge drives, like Fujitsu's and who's the other one? I think, was it Hitachi? Hitachi made them. They had like drives called like the Beluga and stuff like that were like cartridge driven. But anyways, hard drives are cheap now.
Back up your stuff.
Hard drives are cheap, and if you can do it, go buy one and back your shit up, because that's scary. I was fortunate enough to have a backup, and it just worked out for me. So,
yeah.
But I'm considering the 4 terabyte drive that I have that is the backup. I'm considering replacing that with a new one, because it's a few years old now.
So as someone that's had a home theft before, you're not concerned? Do you have that pushed outside of the house as a backup?
The thing about the backup disk is it's connected to my Airport Extreme base station.
Okay.
And the Airport Extreme base station is nowhere near the computer. So it's in a place you would never look to take something. So it's attached. It has a USB port on it. The drive's attached to the USB port on the base station, and it's kind of
out of sight, out of mind.
Out of mind, yeah. So I'm not too worried about it. So if the machine, if the Mac gets taken, or the drives that I have connected to the Mac are taken, that backup is a pretty good chance of remaining, because it's not seen. You would never know it's there.
Right. That would be problematic for here, because obviously everything in the office is in the office.
Right.
Do you lock it?
My office?
Yeah.
No.
I have a lock on my office door. I have a key to my doorknob.
I have 2 windows.
Oh, yeah.
That's not going to keep someone out, though.
Yeah.
No. I mean, maybe, but no. Most likely not.
Yeah.
Everything on my computer,
If someone's going to do a home invasion,
I have probably
Yeah.
they're not going to be like, oh, what's behind this door? Fuck, it's locked. Okay.
Right.
Guess I'll just go down the hall down to this guy's room.
I have like almost 10, maybe 11 terabytes worth of stuff, and everything is also backed up
Like,
everywhere
oh, this
else.
guy's got really nice studio monitor speakers too.
Yeah.
Like, I have a copy of everything locally and in the cloud. Like, literally everything I have on my computer and phone. Everything.
Kick the door down. Get it.
Yeah. Be safe. Don't be sad.
Yeah.
So I don't, I mean, aside of that, I don't know if you guys knew this, But you can find our show in different places.
Is it uploaded to the cloud?
It's almost like it's backed up in different places.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's got redundancy
To a certain extent, yes.
to make sure that it can be listened to
Yeah.
at multiple locations.
Yeah.
If one happens to be down.
Do we have it in different places? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Fu.
Yeah.
How many minutes into this episode are we?
24?
Hey, Dad. Do you think it's necessary at this point?
Maybe.
Oh, my God. You don't have to tell the podcast listeners where to do what they do.
Maybe they're a new listener.
They fucking know, man.
Maybe they go, oh, I'm listening to it like on Google Play, but geez, I didn't realize it was on iTunes too.
Hey, well, let's leave it up to them to figure it out.
Or I didn't realize it was on Spotify.
So I would like to circle back on that one.
Yeah.
So I realized when I can't find the murderer myths. The ampersand was probably what was boning me there.
Yeah, you can't
Murder
have that.
and myths wasn't coming up, but when I used the ampersand, then I went, oh.
That's what that thing's called?
Yeah,
Murder and Myths.
the ampersand symbol.
Oh.
I didn't know it's
the fancy.
Yes.
The fancy
I thought,
hand
I thought
thing.
that thing just meant and.
It's called ampersand.
But that doesn't say and. That's more letters than 3.
Right.
But so moving on.
He can count. We're good to go.
I'm glad he's in college.
I told you guys I was good as hell at math.
Yeah.
Oh. It's all right.
Just not at uploads.
Xfinity, you're really making me look shitty here.
Oh gosh.
Anyway.
So yeah, so I think like their Twitter handle is and with the word and because you can't have an ampersand probably on the
Right.
Twitter handle.
But the actual, if you were looking for
the podcast itself.
now, that doesn't resolve the syncing issues that I've seen for us specifically.
Oh
But
no.
Anyway.
Are you talking about AV Sync? Are you slamming me more?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
cool.
no, no.
No,
can
we're
if
talking
you
about
want.
like we talked about this in the past show where for some reason Google Play just doesn't update all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's
Refresh.
the way they refresh or how often they refresh their RSS reads. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
you know, Spotify's a little slower than iTunes is on it. They are on it pretty quick, and they say give it 24 hours. You know,
Yeah.
but they are typically right on it within
Well,
an
and
hour
you
or
had
two.
mentioned, so we had an out of sync update on Monday, and we had
the
analytics relatively quick.
Yeah, the show on Monday was a little different because, first of all, it was Monday, and you know, us working stiffs have to be at work, so it's not like I can be posting a podcast while I'm at work. So the show was finished prior to Monday, and then put on our podcast server provider, our podcast hosting company, and then scheduled to pop out at I think noon on Wednesday.
Right.
So that's how that worked. But it was pretty quick. That RSS update for iTunes and stuff happened like very, very fast. So it scheduled itself on Monday at noon our time, and it worked pretty fast.
Oh, good.
So I don't know as far as Google Play, maybe they don't. Maybe if you miss an update, it doesn't happen soon after. I don't know. But basically all they're doing is going through a list of RSS feeds that they just go ping and ping and ping, and they read the new RSS feed, and that should include the new data for the new show. So why I don't understand why Google Play is always slow to get the updates. But iTunes is
Monkeys.
for sure. Yeah, there could be some. I don't know. Maybe someone tripped over a
Some
wire.
Gin and tonic monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, that's how that works. And also working on still trying to get iHeartRadio up and running. So
Cool.
Anyway, so there, Dataz.
Cool.
We have completed the spiel.
So what'd you do over the weekend?
I had work Saturday. A little bit of work. But before I did, we moved Will from downtown out to his new place.
Right.
Good stuff.
That's a big change.
Good crew. Oh yeah, from being right down like in this.
Well, did he
Hustle.
get tired of the commute or something? Or
No, I think they were just looking to change gears of being like right in the middle of chaos to something a little bit lower speed, I think.
because I mean that you're going hardcore from downtown into suburbia.
Oh yeah.
From
And
that
they're
change.
out in new space, way out there in Rancho.
Yeah.
Nice place.
Like out Sunrise area or
Mather-ish.
okay.
But
They're
like,
building lots of stuff
yeah,
around.
brand new. I mean, it looks like Fitiment. Like they're like on the frontage of like
Nothing
new
out there.
ground to break in and
I think
dig
that's
at.
where Melanie's boyfriend lived, was out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Ian?
Yeah, I think he lived out there for a little while.
Yeah. It was a good day for moving. It was. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope everyone got out on the weekend, but I like had to lift and move, and then I schlepped back to the house and did some patching, and then managed to get back out. Just sun, and we worked on the fence a little bit because that's about to fall over.
Yeah.
And
The
then
one in the front.
yeah, that one. It's getting so we.
Is that your fence or theirs?
Well, it's shared, but it's falling her way, and she doesn't seem to want to be doing anything about it.
Well,
But
typically
yet, at
when
some
you-
point it's gonna.
You have a good neighbor fence. Half of the cost is yours
Yeah,
and
you
half is theirs.
split it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday went out with Mike and Angie and rode motorcycles out by the airport Garden Highway.
I think I read about that on the internet.
God.
You missed it, huh?
After like 10 years. So I used Sarah's bike, donor bike. Thank you so much, Sarah. Hashtag hi, Sarah. Really great bike. Who is that?
That was me.
To get back on after not having ridden 10 years. Carburetor bike, 250. Plenty of bike for someone like me that had ridden plenty but was a little skittish about
Sure.
where are the skills at? Like what's still here? Familiarity. Mike had everything prepped, and we wheeled the bikes out, and God, it was good, like ear to ear smiles. Like, oh man.
So did you just run up Garden Highway and back? kind of thing,
Yeah.
or-
So we go out. I don't know what the name of the road. It was that arena exit. You just pretty much go straight out to the river.
Okay, yeah.
And you hit like the there's just warehouse space out there once you get out to the Garden Highway. It like tees into the Garden Highway. Mm-hmm. The Amazon warehouses out there, probably a number of other shipping warehouses. But there was, I mean, you could see the road is okay-ish in some places, and others it's bad. But you can tell that in some of the newer asphalt stuff, it's plenty of people go out there and hoon around and donuts and whatnot.
So did you do that to Sarah's bike a whole bunch?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's what was nice is being a 250, it was enough bike to get like the things back, like to get, okay, so these are the wheels that need to be, okay, these are the things I need to be paying attention to. Plenty of bike. It was just really good to be back on a bike. It's a completely different experience than driving something with four
Sure.
wheels.
Sure.
We zipped around for a bit, took a break, had some water, watched the planes because you're right there by Sac International.
Yeah.
Had some good chats. Saw plenty of other bikers out. We had a good chat about,
Running in the same area?
yeah, it's kind of, Garden Highway, so you could tell a number of people of all speeds. You could tell it's almost like a get your feet.
Testing ground?
Yeah, or just because it's Garden Highway, you're along the river. It's just a good scenic drive.
Sure.
Motorcycles, period. We had a good chat about the community of like how motorcycle riders, there's like it's not just because you see it in Subarus, certainly Subarus. That's like everyone waves as a Subaru driver.
Right.
There's a thing. Now, having driven multiple cars, there was something unique about having a Subaru and how Subaru drivers and owners like have like and it's similar for Jeeps.
Now, are you saying Subaru or are you saying WRX folks?
Subarus in general
Really?
have that, yeah. Oh. Certainly the STI and the WRX crowd is like tied.
Sure.
But Subarus was the first car company and ownership community that I felt no matter where you were or what you were driving, there was like a nod and a finger wave or something to acknowledge, hey, Jeeps are the same way. Motorcycles
guys don't give a fuck, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Motorcycles are
That's the Germans.
like plus some, because as Mike and I and certainly Angie were commenting.
Well, you all have that commonality of being on two wheels.
But there's something too about like because there's an extra risk.
Yeah.
Relative to being on the road with cars, and the pavements are different and how your bike reacts. So there is like almost like a bond about security that motorcycle riders share with each other in acknowledgement of like hey, I see you. It's not just a greeting. It's like an acknowledgement that you're sharing the space and like, I got you kind of thing.
I see it a lot on my commute, and it doesn't matter what bike the guy is on or the other guy is on. They always wave at each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if that guy's running some Yamaha street bike,
right.
and this guy's running
a Harley,
whatever.
Yeah,
everybody always waves at each other.
There's a thing, and I made a special comment to Angie about it because, when you lived up in the country, it was in passing down to the mailboxes or something. You knew everyone, and there was a wave. You get that as part of the motorcycle community. You could be an isolated driver or rider and never ride with a partner, but there is an understanding and a respect as you pass on that you acknowledge, I got you, or hey, have a good ride.
Yeah, I see it a lot.
It's special. And it was cool.
So did you and Mike just wave at each other the whole time?
Yeah, the whole time.
It was just like, hey,
I look back in my mirror. I'm like, fuck, oh, he's back there.
Hey.
So we rode for 20 minutes ish, and then we pulled over at the Amazon lot, and he let me ride his bike.
Oh shit!
And I had
I
had a 600. My Yamaha was a 600.
And what's his?
The 600.
Okay.
But his is obviously a decade plus newer than what I had ridden, plus even more. That bike is amazing. Like, just...
Did you scare yourself with it?
No, but it was certainly a step in many beyond Sarah's.
Yeah.
As far as the experience, like you certainly wouldn't want to make mistakes. I would not have wanted to get on on Mike's bike at Mike's house trying to regain my footing.
Mm-hmm. You're glad you
without
had
experience,
the 250 to start off with.
Yeah, it would have been a mistake. It would have been a mistake and too much of a risk.
Yeah.
Getting my feet back under me, and then he went over like, this is different here. When you get to here, this is what's going to change, and put me on the bike, everything, and no questions. And you second gear, you get that thing into the, and it turned into like a fucking scalpel. It was absolutely amazing on the road. Like everything just,
interesting.
God.
What makes you want to bike?
Yes, absolutely. If I didn't have a trip, probably something bad would have happened. It was just, God, it was awesome. And thanks to Mike and Angie and Sarah for letting me borrow a bike. But it was a great day for a ride. And then we hooked it down Garden Highway for another 15, 20 minutes, and then looped back at his house. Yeah. It was really good, really cool. Had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
What'd you do?
That sounds fun. What did I do?
Yeah.
Nothing that fun. My daughter came home on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, really?
She's home right now for spring break.
Oh, yeah?
So she came home, and so when that happens, sad dad Jim gets pushed aside quite a bit because my wife is ecstatic that her daughter's home, and so they end up doing a lot of stuff together. But she ended up flaking a lot on my wife on Saturday.
Boyfriend?
They had plans, yes.
Oh.
The boyfriend wasn't supposed to be here Saturday. He was supposed to have left to go home or back to school because his spring break was the week before.
Oh.
And instead of...
Are they both state schools?
No, he's UC.
So they're off sync. Okay.
Yeah. So he was going to leave Saturday, and apparently he has to go pick up people in Santa Cruz.
Drop them off.
Oh.
Pick them up or drop them off?
Drop them off.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I thought he dropped them off on the way up and was picking them up on the way back.
I thought he picked them up, brought them here, and then drove them all back.
Oh.
So he was going to be going to a couple different places,
Okay.
and they didn't really want him to try and do that all in one day because it's a lot of driving to go to Santa Cruz and to San Luis Obispo, I think, or something, and then on to Irvine.
Okay.
So that's a long haul. So he was going to leave on Saturday. Well, it turns out he decided to leave on Sunday. So, of course, Melanie is now home, and he's here, and so that turned into them doing things, and she had plans with her mom, but ended up flaking on her mom. And, Shanna's not going to make a big stink because, she's 18 and she can kind of...
Sad mom?
But she was a little bit upset about that.
Oh.
So that was kind of a bummer. I ended up going to sushi over at Sushi Mon for dinner by myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then on Sunday, I knew I needed to go into work because we have a big trade show coming up, and the thingy I'm working on has to be ready to be shown, which I will be at the show to show it. So I need to know what kind of things are broken and what kind of things are working. So I ended up going to work on Sunday for a few hours. And then it just felt like a really long week so far because it literally felt like Sunday was Monday, and Tuesday I thought was, Tuesday was Monday was Tuesday, and it's just like it screwed up my whole week. Like I felt like I didn't have a weekend. And,
I know all about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit. I don't mind working the weekend. I don't mind put it in a little extra effort, that kind of stuff. I don't want to if I don't have to.
I don't think it,
But I will if I need to. And but at the same time, it doesn't feel that great when you're suddenly feeling like, oh, is it Sunday or Monday? And I'm at work.
The time chuck is.
Yeah. So, and you do that crap all the time. So I don't know how you can do that.
I would be hard. I have slowly tried to walk back the Sunday work.
Yeah.
I used to pick up a little bit.
I see but I have to have at least a day.
It was like, I don't like the feeling of having work all 7 days or having Saturday off and taking that load on Sunday instead. And then it does this. The week sync is off.
The mental part of it for me is just really
having
difficult.
Sunday work does something wonky to the sync. So I've tried, unless it's like a dire need, I don't pick up Sunday stuff anymore.
Well, let me just say I would rather have gone in on Saturday.
Yeah.
Probably would have worked out better for me personally.
Yeah.
But my manager was going to be there on Sunday for whatever reason.
Oh, so you're getting a little FaceTime.
So I have to, it's like I want to make sure that he knows that I'm, it's sort of like a little bit of
schmoozing.
Yeah, a little bit of that. But also just, I got some things done and got some time in on some software that needed some time. Yeah. And so
I think
whatever.
it's different if it's rainy weather. It's like, well, I'm going to be inside anyway.
It was really nice.
Saturday, going from being outside, getting a good sweat on, helping people, moving a couple locations.
Yeah.
It was like, it's good to be outside, stretch the legs, get some activity in, and then having to come back into the house and sit at a desk for hours.
Yeah.
And then if I would have had work Sunday too, I would have been very pissy. Pissy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably would have been better off having, like I said, not working on Sunday, but working on Saturday. Especially leading up to the show being next week. Probably would have worked out a little bit better, like as far as mentally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would have had the break before Monday instead of working Sunday and feeling like Monday.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of thing. And then, the show is like, oh, you got to fly out Sunday. So that turns into a whole nother week of weirdness. And especially the show is crazy because you're talking to hundreds of people throughout the week. And
Is Sunday then, so it's not that much of a travel
it's
sync, but
no.
are you working Sunday then on the trade floor?
No, the show doesn't open till Monday. But depending on what's going on in the booth prior to the opening of the show, there may be work to do in the booth as far as like equipment setup and things like getting things dialed.
Yeah.
But there's also, we have a dealer meeting on Sunday, which they want us there prior to the dealer meeting. So the dealer meeting's at 1, and so I have to fly in before then, and then go to the dealer meeting, and then end up spending time at the booth a little bit before.
Don't.
Yeah, don't smack the mic. But so it's just one of those
I
things.
see you fucking.
Don't smack the mic.
And after next week, it'll cool off a little bit.
Will it?
Yeah. Of course, then it's ship time. So
I mean,
we gotta-
interesting. I know you don't have a lot of time, but I would be curious to see what the podcast footprint as far, because it seemed like they had special things set up for podcasters this year. I thought we saw
at the show itself?
Yeah, seminars or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's some
presentations.
seminar stuff for podcasting, and I'm not sure if it. I don't know where it fits into beginner, novice, podcaster range or whatever, or what kind of. I don't even know. My problem is I can't make it there. I can't go to
you
these.
have to work.
I'm stuck in the booth. So
Just when someone comes to ask about the product, just
did
being
you go
like,
to the podcast?
also,
seminar?
have you? What can you tell me about the podcast?
Yeah.
Podcasting seminar? Anything? Nothing? Well, then I have no information for you.
Yeah, I don't have any answers.
Why don't you just
You want to
step
ask
on down?
questions about something here?
go look at the green screen stuff?
Go
Get out of my
get-
face.
Go
What, do you
get me
think that
answers.
shit was free?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be
Knowledge.
interesting. So that's pretty much what I ended up doing this weekend. Well, not a whole lot,
Knowledge is power.
but we got some stuff we want to do at the house, and there's just been not a good weekend with in between all the rain and all the stuff. It's like we got paint colors picked out for the outside of the house. We got to buy paint, so we're gonna paint the house. Just do it ourselves.
Yeah. You got trim work though. You need to.
We got there's stuff that needs to be cleaned up. We got to probably get the pressure washer out and there's like some chip paint under the eaves that needs to come off, stuff like that. But so there's a bunch of work, but I need a weekend to
Yeah.
go buy that stuff and start.
Yeah.
I need a weekend for that.
We we were outside. We prepped stuff to do to the fence, and then we ran out of daylight, and then it was like, well, Sunday.
Yeah,
I went to do something else. I was like, well,
yeah,
now I need another weekend where it's not raining
right.
to do
Yeah,
fence.
Why can't we work 2 days and have 5 days off?
yeah, I agree with that. Why can't we all just retire?
Right?
It'd be like, oh, the
We'll
weekends
use
you have
we'll
to
use
work.
smiles. We'll use smiles for our currency.
If
I'll pay
only.
my mortgage in smiles.
God,
Hey, Wells Fargo. Jeez.
you're not enough Disney. No work for you today.
Those aren't Disney level
Yeah.
payment smiles, buddy.
Yeah.
Those are way less.
That's like cell phone bill payment, not mortgage.
Well, I mean, Disney. You got to pay for Disney.
Yeah.
How much would it cost to pay your Comcast bill?
Well,
Smile-wise.
What?
Just one of those.
I guess. Yeah, you pay with a shitty smile for the shitty service.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my shitty smile, Comcast.
The Comcast guy today, while he was trying to fix my fucked up internet, had the audacity to tell me that he thinks that nobody can touch them internet-wise. They're just too good. And I honestly wanted to fucking rock them.
Well, I think once you get all your shit dialed in, then maybe it will work really well.
Yeah.
I would argue 20 times over the consolidated is way better.
Yeah, but they don't offer the same speed. I could probably get faster Comcast at my house than I could.
If you
Customer service doesn't move bits.
if you can
That's
Yeah.
true.
if you had gigabit service, I'd probably rather just have 100 up and 100 down and just call it a day rather than have fucking 10 up and 250 down.
Speaking of that,
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
saw in a trade magazine today that 4K takes about 10, 12 megabit download speeds,
Okay.
and that 8K, which is what they're talking about a lot now, takes 100 megabit.
Wow.
100 megabit.
Who's streaming 8K? Is
Japan probably. Honestly, Japan probably is. I don't know if that's
Is
like
that-
a service
Japan
that you
that
can pay
advanced?
for, but
Are the
they
8K
always seem to be.
TVs
They push it hard.
out there yet?
There are some. They're expensive,
But not as
no.
I
They're not
even
prominent.
The red cameras are pretty much all 8K sensors now.
yeah, but most people are still trying to get full adoption of 4K, right?
I'm not even sure how the fuck they edit that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a tough nut to crack, actually. 8K is difficult. You know, the people that use these larger formats are trying to, number one, they're trying to future protect the stuff they're shooting.
Okay.
So if you shoot in 8K, then you're guaranteed in the future that stuff is still viable as a digital.
Like, you could remaster it and release it in 8K.
Yeah.
No.
Whereas in the film days, when you shot a movie on 70 millimeter film, when
That's
stuff
it.
started going digital,
Yeah.
right, they would scan that into, back in the old days, they would scan that into SD.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. And then when HD started coming around, well, they have to go and rescan those old films as HD, or then in this case now 4K. They have to go and rescan those as 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easily, without realizing it, in the shooting medium that they used in a 70 millimeter film, they kind of did future protect their stuff because they can just rescan it.
Right.
Right. It's not the most efficient way to work, but you can do that.
You can do it.
But in the digital realm now,
Mm.
now you have to like really size up your digital files
It's
in
easy.
order to protect
Yeah.
them for the future, which is really interesting to think about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
'cause when I think 8K, I'm thinking like very niche IMAX type of stuff.
Well, not even just that. Sometimes they shoot it in 8K so that they have room to do post-processing stuff. Right? They have, it's like taking a giant photo in your camera to edit it so that you have the digital pixels and all the extra data, so that when you edit it, then when you end up putting out something that's smaller, it looks that much better, right? Because you had more data to start with.
Yeah.
What kind of computers are they using for all that shit? It's not Macs, that's for damn sure.
No, it's what are they called? I think HP is one of our. There's HP and there's some server machines that are being used for that stuff, but they do like it's HP Z 880 or something like that, which is like their top of the line, sort of like Mac Pro type system, but they still accept PCI slots, right? Where the Macs don't have that anymore.
I ran Scion 4K 60 footage through this thing. No dropped frames. Put LUTs on it and edited the colors and all that stuff. This MacBook Pro handled it pretty good, actually.
Well, that's good.
It's like, all right, that's dope. Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of how that works. Interesting stuff though. But yeah, I thought that was fascinating for broadcast. And I don't even know what kind of compression scheme that would be. But for broadcast 8K, they're saying 100 megabit. 100 megabit. That's all. That's
crazy.
That's all of my. If I'm getting 100 megabits all the time, that's all of my service. You know what I mean? 100% of the service.
You'd have to have a much better and more wider footprint of some sort of Wi-Fi broadband than what everyone's got.
Absolutely.
There's no way.
You'd probably have to be hardwired at the house into whatever was taking it in.
That's so much space.
It's kind of nutty, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just found that fascinating, and I thought it was interesting how much. I mean, I know we're doing, obviously we're doing 8K stuff, but I thought it was interesting how much this particular magazine that I get in a digital form was talking about 8K coming up at the NAB show, which will be interesting. Of course, I won't get out of the booth to see any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's there, man. I mean, it's already there. It's not like it's a secret.
You have to man the show start to end, right? You don't get a time to, unless you use it your lunch.
Yeah, unless I use my lunch and just
to
go walk
peruse
around
the booth.
Yeah,
which would
I think I have to get like an hour.
Which is no fun because you want to get off your feet.
Yeah, I just want to go sit down and eat because I'm starving. Someone's forgotten that it's time for them to fill in for me for lunch, so then I've been an hour behind and now I'm really hungry and I'm like flagging people down, hey, where's so and so to friggin' fill in for me for lunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I just want to go sit and not talk to people, and then you end up sitting at a table with a bunch of people you don't know that talk to you, and you're like, Jesus, dude, you want to talk to me, come by the booth.
It's because you get your shirt on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me about your podcasting.
You should just rip your shirt off real quick. Can you take like Sad Dad's Club podcast business cards and hand them out to motherfuckers?
No. Probably on my lunch break.
Yeah.
Really?
Just put a piece of tape over your
Look at AJ, Sad Dad's Club podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what? AJ, Sad Dad's Club podcast?
Did you guys
I
know
just
that
put the sweatshirt on.
Pixar made their own video editing software?
Yeah.
It's called Render Man.
Yeah, it's specific for animation.
Yeah, I didn't know that they did that. That's kinda cool.
That's been a thing for a long time.
Did you see the new Toy Story trailer?
Yes.
I've heard about it. I heard it's pretty tear jerky.
It's dark.
Is it?
Yeah. It is not.
What you expect?
Golly gee, Andy, let's go play with toys on the. It's like. Fucking,
Really?
We've turned it.
I don't think I've seen it actually.
Yeah. It's.
I saw that it was out, and I heard people talking about it, that it was a tearjerker kind of thing, and I think I was at work, and I'm like, I'm not going to look it up and watch it right now. And then I
it's
forgot
just,
about it.
because there's like funny opportunities with the toy that the little girl apparently makes out of a spork.
Oh yeah.
But then it gets weird. It's weird.
Is it what was that movie where all the grocery items or things?
Oh,
Is it that kind of dark?
Sausage
my
Party.
God.
Sausage
that movie
Party?
was fucking horrible.
Did you watch that?
yeah, we saw that over Will's. I think.
Did you finish the movie?
Yeah,
I couldn't even finish it. I was like, this is terrible. I'm out of this.
it's very adult humor-ish.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, they would never. Pixar would never do a film
No,
like
it was just like we've come a long way since Toy Story 1, and you're like to infinity and beyond, and
Right.
like Woody's on some sort of journey on a dark highway side of the road, looking. Just what is going? What
He's
is
picking
this?
up hookers
like,
and stuff?
Is this Toy Story or fucking John Wick? Like what's going on here?
That's what I need to see is Wick 2.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I was looking for it. Now, I did run across, I found, remember how, Chandler, I was telling you I couldn't find white guy, black comic or whatever?
White male black comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found it on Comedy Central.
Yeah, or it's on Amazon Prime.
I found it there and watched it last night. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good. That's
Some of it I had seen already.
the white girl's bit is classic.
Yeah, the drunk stuff is. He doesn't. He's dead. In that
Or did I
song.
just say white girls? Or did I say drunk girls?
Drunk girls?
Okay, yeah, it's drunk girls.
Chris D'Elia special.
Oh.
I hadn't been able to find it because I thought it would be on Netflix and couldn't find it there, and it wasn't on Prime.
Pre-Netflix, maybe?
It probably is. Yeah. Couldn't find it on Prime, and I was like, I don't know where to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I happened to be on Comedy Central's website just watching some of the younger comedians.
Take care now.
Some of the younger comedians, and just did a search for him, just happenstance, and found bits of it. And then it's like, watch the whole show here. And then it made me log in with our consolidated login, and then I had it.
How young are you?
Yeah, good stuff.
Reach in my pocket and grab my popsicle.
I'm trying to remember more of it, but yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. I think his newer stuff's better, but
Incorrigible is my favorite one that he's done.
yeah.
Incorrigible is classic.
Did you get your Avengers Endgame tickets? It was already they broke Fandango and I think Cinemark in people trying to get their pre-tickets.
Broke them?
Yeah, Fandango went down, and then people people went, oh, I can't get my tickets, and they all went over to like try and buy them on Cinemark, and I think Cinemark tanked at some point.
Wow, what did I watch? What's the animated Spider-Man?
Did you watch it? What'd you think?
That was really, really good.
Right?
The animation in that was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the movie? I can't. It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. The Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Man, good story.
Right? When did you see it?
We rented it from Redbox.
Yeah.
Watched it. When did we watch that? Monday night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Very, very good.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that. I loved how they had the old school, like the black and white guy.
Oh, Spider Noir?
Yeah.
Did you know whose voice that was? Nick Cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved the girl with the
robot?
The robot.
The anime?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Penny Parker. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
Penny Parker.
Man, what a really well done movie. And
so they greenlit a sequel, and a spinoff for Gwen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I'm glad I watched it.
Hey.
I mean, you know what's funny about it to me is Melanie picked it out.
Oh. Well, yeah.
And I don't know if she had seen it already, but she picked it out for us to watch, and I was like, sweet, I want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she had watched it already because I think from her boyfriend. Her boyfriend really makes her like she didn't give a crap about Star Wars at all.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're watching Star Wars because Ian likes Star Wars. So there's some of that influence coming in from outside, which I think is awesome because it expands what I can watch, when she's around or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's interested in some of this stuff just as an entertainment aspect rather than it doesn't have to be a lifestyle choice. People get all upset about, well, it's not a lifestyle. You either just watch the film for its entertainment value and enjoy it or not.
Right.
It doesn't have to, you don't have to fucking go be a Marvel character after the movie's over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just watch it and enjoy it.
And that's why, because I as soon as it came out digitally, I bought it because it was worth it just enough. Xander and I were definitely going to watch it again.
Yeah.
And when we went and saw it in the theater, it was because Venus and Piper, I think, were busy, but they were kind of like, we'll catch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And I bought it specifically, like, trust me, it's that good. Please watch it with us because I'm putting it on, and I guarantee you get a minute and a half in here, and you're gonna want to watch it the rest of the way anyway. Piper really liked it, and we were also really hooked on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like the soundtrack was just in my
Yeah.
opinion was just as good.
There were parts where like some song would play and then it would switch the scene into something else. And
Yeah.
the music would completely change and then it would switch back to the other scene and the song would go back to the music. I was like, man, that's just really well done.
The tie-ins to the villain that was his uncle, the Prowler.
Yeah.
One of the tracks uses like a small sample. It might be "What's Up, Danger." Uses like whenever he's in the Prowler is in the. He has like that. It's like a siren, growly, whatever.
Yeah.
I think "What's Up, Danger" uses that as a small sample. I'm not quite sure, but it really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I was impressed.
I ordered the Post Malone and Sway Lee Sunflower.
Yeah.
I ordered the single on vinyl
Yeah.
in January 11th, and it's going to be at my house on April 3rd.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for days to get that.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
It really good. Yeah. Everything about that hit. It was funny because, the joke is
Today is April 3rd.
6th, sorry. It'll be April 6th.
Sony has the rights to Spider-Man for so long, and they finally hit one out of the park.
Yeah.
And it was animated.
Man, that's the other thing is the animation.
Yeah.
Was just
So they did how they got like some of the effects. Each frame had something done to it to give it that scratchy comic feel, and then
there were some effects too. I noticed where it looked like almost like they didn't remove the 3D aspect of it. There were
they did
overlays that were like blue and red.
Oh yeah, crazy stuff.
And I thought, was this like a 3D film and they didn't remove all the 3D because that looks, or is that just part of the effect of that particular time of the movie?
I saw it was like not a critique. It was like a breakdown. It was one of the behind the scenes things that wasn't part of my digital copy, but it was something that had been parsed and then put onto YouTube, and it was like an animator commentary about some of the different types of genres because they blend like the flat spider noir and your animation for the Penny
Right.
Parker and her robot. They said that one of the hardest things to animate throughout the entire film was the pig.
Oh,
The Looney Tunes
Yeah.
style pig. Over everything else.
Oh,
that was
weird.
one of the more complicated ones for them to put into all the other animation. Like, how bizarre is that? Because it's so
simple.
so it looks so simple
Yeah.
relative to the complexity of like a 3D shaded Miles
Robot.
Morales and the
Or-
robot and
Yeah.
It totally
just-
looks cool. I'm looking at the trailer.
Yeah, it's
you haven't seen it?
oh,
Oh man,
it's
Where
worth
did you
it.
watch it at?
At home.
How,
Redbox.
did you actually get it from Redbox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
You said where did you watch it at?
I meant like what? What? Service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Redbox.
Redbox. Yeah. Anyway.
I never read a Redbox. You ever read a Redbox?
Yeah.
How we doing on time, Food?
107.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
weird because some of it looks like borderline real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, I see the pig.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Well, I guess with that, we need to wrap it up.
We'll call it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go see yourself Spider-Man into,
Oh my
into the
gosh.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that was good.
Don't
Good
be like
movie.
me. Don't
Yeah.
don't fuck
You're
up.
going to hate yourself after being in like
I've never
the amount of stuff that you're into as far as digital media and not seeing that.
I've never been into like superheroes though.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It is as much of a treat visually
Yes.
and audio. AV is an AV treat.
Yes.
That what they've done in that movie is a masterpiece.
It'll just blow my mind regardless what it is about.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I
alright,
guarantee it.
alright.
It's worth
It's
it.
entertainment,
And
man.
then you will find, if you go to YouTube and you like animation breakdown or any like geeky AV verbiage, it's the dogs at the door.
Hey Jax.
Any geeky verbiage and then tack on Spider-Verse, you will get a number of breakdowns that will then rabbit hole, and that you'll learn something. I know I did. You'll learn stuff.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm afraid of learning.
Anyway.
Yeah,
All right.
clearly.
Okay.
All right, we got to wrap this up, and thanks for listening, and thanks for tagging along on our April Fool's Day special.
Yeah. Shark suits and everything else.
Yep.
So thanks for listening. Catch you next week.
See ya.